What's up, Miles?
How's it going, Noah? How's it going?
Yeah, good, buddy. Good, good, good. Busy, busy, crazy busy.
Busy. Did you catch
Yeah,
some of the
indeed.
trades then so far?
Yeah, yeah. I caught because I was in Legoland, Miles and stuff like that with the family. I was peeking in, peeking out, and I didn't want to rush any trades and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I came back and I placed a beautiful trade. I took ETH, took a long on ETH. I got it at 17.22. It dropped to
Nice.
17.17 and jumped. And I was like, wow, I'd never ever got that close to the bottom. And then do you know what I went and done? I knocked myself out of the trade.
Too
So I
early.
did. No, what I did was I followed the guidelines. I went to the stop loss,
Yeah.
and then as it was rising, I sort of trailed it, but I think it was trading at 1970. I raised it to 1890, but instead of putting 1890, instead of putting 8, I put 9, and
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
Well,
still made a profit, but when I seen the way you guys do it about having multiple trades and just rising, that would have been a lovely one to start with, and then start following it up. But 17.22, man, it dropped to 17.17, $5 off the bottom. I was so proud of myself. I was like, what?
yeah. And as they
Okay, but
say, your exit is just as important as your entry. But as they say as well, you can't go broke making a profit.
yeah,
So
yeah, true, man, true. And also, see with the margin trading,
yeah,
I've learned a wee bit more about it. At the start, when I seen the 5x, I was thinking, oh, that means we're going to win or get 5 times our money if we win a trade. But then it's more about if you have $500, that's like having $2,500. So that means you can
purchasing
participate.
power. Yeah,
It's not multiplying it by 5 in a sense. If you say win a trade and you get $60, it's not like 5 times $60. It's just 5 times your account size.
exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But,
Yes.
but obviously the beauty in the leverage is it allows you to accumulate more profit than you typically would if you were spot trading. So that's
Yeah.
why obviously leverage, is the fastest way to obviously build wealth, as you know. So
Yeah.
that's why it's super, super cool. So we've got 16 people in at the moment. We probably have a few more join shortly. I hope everybody else is doing well. See who we have on the call. I hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who we have. Perfect. Well, hey, yes, Fran. Welcome back again. So to start with, obviously we'll get into it now. To start with, it's actually been a very, very, a great start to this challenge, a really, really good start to the challenge. And what I'm pleased with as well is that we started with a loss, right? So obviously the two other trades, those were so small in terms of the risk. I mean, it wasn't really a loss, but the main loss obviously was the ETH 2.8%. So you saw how we can start off with a loss, but then obviously when you stick with it, you play to your strategy, play to your strength, and have conviction with the overall market trend. As you can see, Bitcoin, incredible setup. Ethereum, incredible setup. Bitcoin Cash, really, really good setup playing out now. And obviously we've got all the other trades playing out as well. Did everybody catch these trades so far? Has everybody caught these trades?
Not all, just a couple.
Just a couple.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was lucky to get all of them, including the XRP one today. I saw the message super late and I put a stop limit order in, and it filled exactly a couple of seconds before the pump. And that was amazing. Like I woke up and I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's the best feeling, right? When you see that trade go in the right direction with little to no drawdown. I mean, that is the best feeling ever. Link nearly went into take profit, but dropped. Yeah. So Joe, so for example, when you have a trade like that, right? Let's say Chainlink, and you don't plan on trailing your stop loss. So if you're just saying, look, I just want my trade to hit take profit, that's it, I don't care about trailing, then typically when you see an update, for example, because I made that update, making everybody aware of the Bitcoin and the chain link, because I knew that we're going to see some type of pullback, which should give you the opportunity to say, okay, well, it's right next to my take profit anyway, maybe 2-3%. I'm happy to cash out here, right? So when you see prices that close to your take profit level, the strategy is either to trail tight. So you want to start trailing your stop loss to protect any losses that may, not losses, but any major pullbacks that may occur. Or of course, you can just take profit altogether. So don't forget that in the future. When you see the price that close to your take profit, do not be afraid to cash out of the trade or start trailing. And if you don't know how to trail, then of course it makes sense to start trailing. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're going to do an end of month performance review. But before we do that, and also we're going to back test some of the trades that we've taken so far. We're going to go over why we took these trades, the type of risk to reward. So yeah, trailing stuff, because it's so in depth, that will be tomorrow. We'll get into that. But for now, we're going to back test some of these trades. We're going to look at why we took these trades, the significant levels, raising your stop loss. Yeah, that's what we mean. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions before we get into this? Any questions before we get started?
Oh, I do have a lot of questions. I sent a mail this morning. Luckily, there was this webinar. I think that most of the questions are going to be explained in the webinar. My main one is about how to, like, if you guys are going to send out signals also for the for training the stop losses from now on, because I am
trailing your stop loss.
Yeah, so like key levels to put stop losses. I'm planning on compounding. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you if you're going to send out signals for those who compound about the stop losses, where to start to place them, especially on the open trades that we have right now on BTC and Ethereum. I'm trying to keep them open. I'm playing with 20 leverage on Binance, so that's okay for me. I just want to experiment with that. And yeah, so will you send out signals from now on for those who compound?
So we'll probably end up doing that in the next few weeks or even months, because it depends on the education level of the group. So if everybody doesn't know how to trail and we start giving out trailing stop, what ends up happening is people start making mistakes. So even though it will help a few, but in the short term, it won't benefit the people that don't know how to trail. What will end up happening is they will try and, they'll try and do it themselves, and then people just end up losing money. So for now, we want to keep it simple as possible. And that's obviously, why we've started off with spot trading. So we started the process with spot trading. And then, our plan was to roll out the leverage trading around September. But of course, the market just gave us no choice but to really take advantage of it now. And then obviously, as time goes by, we will start introducing that trailing stop as people get more educated, after these webinars and a few more sessions, etc. That's when we'll start doing that. But for now, we're just planning on keeping it simple. That's why I said, if you don't know how to trail and, you don't want to learn how to do this in depth, then for now, it's best to just take profit when it gets closer to your take profit level, or try the best you can.
Okay. So you recommend taking profits?
Only if you do not know how to trail. If you do not know how to trail, I would say for now, it's best to just capture your profit. And I'll tell you why. Because obviously you guys know that we're in the FX and indices space as well. So when we have some of our students that come to us in that space, what we tend to find is, if you don't know how to trail, what ends up happening is you have a home run trade. So the Bitcoin trade, Ethereum trade that you're in right now is called a home run. That's a massive, I'm sure you must have at least doubled your account or something along those lines of these trades. or at least up 30-50% on your account, right?
Yeah, I'm up like around 85% of the account.
There
I
you
started
go.
with a small account and then I increased it.
Yeah. So that's my point. So you're up 85% on your trading account. Now, because you don't know how to trail, all that will end up happening is more profits will come, your account will keep increasing, but because you don't know how to trail, it will reverse on you. And then you could end up either coming out at no profit whatsoever or at a loss. So that's why I say sometimes don't get greedy. Have faith in the system, have faith that more trading opportunities like this will come. And but obviously trailing at this point would be the best thing. But obviously, if you don't know how to do that, just take profit. That would be best.
Okay, and this connects to the second question that I have. Let's say we take profit, right? So our account increases in size. And right now, since we're at the starting stages, do you recommend keeping the risk to the original size of the account? Let's say, example, a $500 account, or increase keep the same percentage, but on the account that you have, including the profits that you made.
So just to make that clear, are you saying keep the original risk that you had on your smaller account side, or change the risk according to your now new account size with the larger profits?
Yeah, exactly. So let's say I started with 3%, $15 per trade risk. Now I have around 475. Sorry, 975. So my percentage is not $15 anymore. I need to recalculate that every time I press a new trade.
Yeah. So what I typically say to people is try keep it stable. So for example, have just a lot size for now that you'll keep repeating, right? You keep repeating it. Obviously, right now, because your account size is growing, you do want to make sure that you increase increase the lot size just a bit, just so you can obviously increase your account even faster. It's a compound effect, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, if you don't know how to trail, I'd probably just say increase it a tiny bit based on your initial. I mean, come on, if you can double your account of your first lot size, then that lot size must be, good enough to maintain for at least the next few weeks or so. But obviously, guys, the trick here is the compound effect. Leverage and compounding, this is how you turn that 500. When you hear stories about people that have turned $500 into over $1 million and all this kind of stuff, it's done via compounding, right? And we've done many compounding challenges, but the way people go wrong is, and the way you could go wrong is, you could end up, let's say you complete the 1 Bitcoin challenge by the end of August, based on that compound effect that you're using. What will happen is you'll get so confident, you could take one trade that will completely wipe you out. And that's what tends to happen to, if you compound too fast. So just keep it simple. Once you get to a certain level, just keep the lot size the same. Be happy with those profits, be happy with those profits. And then obviously, if the risk allows it, you can go on a decent lot size, but keep that risk factor, the same. So I'll give you an example. If you've got, let's say you increase your account to about $5,000 in the next few weeks, make sure you don't risk any more than about $500 on that account on one trade, right? Max. Yeah. And I'm saying if you're being super risky, make sure nothing more than that if you're compounding aggressively. But if you're being more conservative, keep the risk below $300 still, and just keep compounding like that. But remember, guys, this is a process. Many of you are either never traded leverage before, or you've been trading spot, and this is a whole new experience. But the good news is, because you're off to a good start, is only going to increase your success moving forward, because it's going to give you confidence to keep going. But I am glad that we started off with that one loss on Ethereum, because it just shows you, how quickly things can change in the market. And with the right risk management, those losses won't mean much. But I hope that answered your question. Does anyone have any more questions before we start to back test some of our trades?
Yeah, I was thinking to start to increase the risk percentage once we get it above 40,000 with Bitcoin. Like like the bull run is a little bit more established. I feel like a little bit more confident now doing that. And then as we move forward, I would maybe increase it a little bit more. Do you think that's a good thing to increase it to 5% now?
To be honest with you, me personally, because of the profits that we've all made so far, I don't know, depending on what you've made, now is the time to be, to take on the risk at a sensible, but be sensible with it. But
yeah, just to 5%. Yeah.
Yeah, but I personally, because I'm more of an aggressive trader anyway, I personally will start taking that risk now. And then once you get to that, remember guys, the more money you have, the less risk in terms of actual account size you're gonna want to take, right? So for example, if you're on a smaller account, your mindset, you're grinding, right? You're hustling, you're trying to increase this account as fast as you can. So therefore, sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't mind losing this $500 if it means after 6 losses, I can increase this to over 10 grand or 5 grand, right? With that in mind, it's easy to grow that way. But it's not easy to grow if you're up 40 grand and then you're like, I'm going to be super risky and then wipe your account down to 5 grand. Getting back to that stage is going to be hard. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's always better to take on more risk when you're small, rather than when you take on a lot of, new capital or your account size grows. That's not the time to start being super risky. And that's not the time to do that. So the risk in terms of compounding now is the best time.
Miles, can I ask a question?
Okay.
So see the way you were saying about choose a lot size and that's what you base your 3% on. See, does that work the other way? As in, say for talk's sake, I have £1,000 account. I place 3 trades at $30 a trade. Should my 4th trade be 3% of 970, or sorry, of 910, which is left in my account after placing them trades, or should I stick with the lot size? You know what I mean?
So really you want to do 3% of the overall account, what it's gone down by.
All right, okay.
But a cheat code would be to keep it the same unless you go below that 9.
Right, okay, yeah.
That'll be the cheat. And the reason why is just because obviously if your account size has gone down, if you keep that lot size the same, then obviously if you win that next trade, then it's just going to take you're going to grow a lot faster.
Yeah. The lot size is a good idea. You could literally have increments of 500. So if it goes to 1,500, then go to 3% of 1,500, and then your next increment could be 2,000. So yeah, that clears that up. I'll keep that in mind.
So
Miles,
yeah.
Sorry, just a quick one. I know this won't be answered, but let's say we're so close to the take profit that you guys have posted. Should we be trading at that point, or no? It's only when we've reached that take profit that you posted.
So,
or should we have been taking profit all the way up to that take profit point that you've already posted?
So do you mean taking small amounts of profits whilst it goes to that level?
Yeah.
So the reason why you don't want to do that is because it will be hard to grow. You want to take advantage of the overall market swing. If you're taking profit,
of course.
Yeah, if you're taking profit too early, it's hard to grow, right? Because these kind of trades that we're taking, these are kind of trades that are going to allow you to grow. If you cut them too short, it just means when the losses come around, it could wipe out the profits you've made, or you'll feel it a lot more. But when you're sitting on a doubled account, and then let's say we have a spell where we take a few losses, it's not going to hurt you as much because you're just like, okay, I'm going to get through this until we get those gems again, until we get those great entries again. Whereas if you've taken, if
you're taking profit on the way up, I get it. So for example, with a link trade, like we're so close to that take profit, should we have been moving our stop loss a little bit under it as you did for the examples that you showed before we started trading?
Yes. So for day trading, so from a day trading perspective, yeah, you do want to start trailing just in case, but sensibly. So you want to trail to at a sensible level. So that way, if it does reverse, you've come out with a sizable amount of funds, but don't overdo it, right? So don't be up like, let's say you're up 2% and then you just start trailing straight away, right?
At the moment, like I'm up by like, let's say 127% on the link one. And like, obviously it hasn't hit the take profit yet, but I'm just afraid it might start reversing on me. So
yeah. So
if
do you
know what I mean? It's so
okay, I get
but not quite there yet.
Yeah. So for a trade like that, if you're up 127%, me personally, I'm trailing 50% straight away. You're talking about leverage here with your account, right?
Yeah, I'm on a 10x though, so yeah.
Exactly. So I'm trailing 50%, which means if it reverses, I come out of this 50% up. Personally, that's what I'm doing. Yes. So when you're up, but guys, remember, and this is why I'm trying to, and this is why it's so hard, because I'm also looking at the bigger picture. I'm seeing that we are at the bottom. If you can capture, great positions and keep riding the trend up, trailing some positions, I mean, you could be looking at a fortune in the next few months if you do this properly.
But I don't want to close out that link trade really if it's going to keep doing well. Like, do I need to maybe start adding to the position I'm trailing?
And that's what we're going to look at doing. We are going to look at adding positions. But the reason why, again, like I said, the reason why I don't want to do it just yet is because people here are all at different stages. And that's why we do the advanced class as well, because everybody's here at different stages. If we start introducing added positions now, all that will happen is people just say, okay, I've learned how to add a position now. And you just do it aggressively. And then what you're actually doing, instead of compounding your wins, you're now compounding your losses, right? So that's what I'm saying. Everybody is going to be different on here. That's why we want to, make sure that we lay a solid foundation so that everybody can work on. I'll give you a classic example. Joe says here, I'm up around 650 from 500 so far. That's all. But again, that's all. I mean, that's still good. That's $150 that you didn't have before, right? So that's what I'm saying. The people that are doubling their accounts, these guys obviously have some experience already, or, obviously, or they're really maximizing that leverage. There's nothing wrong with making $150 so far within the space of 1 week when we really started hammering this. That's still good. So don't worry about, try focus on your journey. Try focus on, following this through, and, so remember, slow and steady wins the race,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was happy with the 150, but with everyone saying they doubled and all that, I thought maybe I'd made a mistake,
Yeah.
I don't know how they even doubled. Did that mean they put their entire account in? I thought we were doing bit by bit.
So it depends. Some people, obviously they are increasing the leverage. Some people may be adding positions. Some people, or increase lot size. It just all depends. But again, all that matters is that everybody's profitable and everybody's doing well. Remember, it's not really a competition, but obviously you do want to develop that edge. If you're doing that, you obviously have an edge, and you're maximizing on the profits that are being made, which is what I want for everyone as well. So
sorry if I interrupt, to answer my question, like I almost doubled the account mainly because of the Bitcoin trade, because there were multiple factors that came in. I also got an algo update from TradingView on exactly the same time frame, and thus my risk on that trade was a bit bigger than the other trades. So that's how I got a bit more profits. So if this hopefully clears a bit of questions from who keeps the 3%.
On my side, I just doubled plus the account because I'm on Binance.
So 2 seconds. I think someone has music playing. Who is that? Yeah, please mute your mic.
Yeah, sorry for that. I'm also in the street. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, that was you. Okay, okay.
But yeah, I doubled plus, but it's just because on Binance I can do so many more pairs than what we're doing, right? So using my own TA, I've done more pairs than just BTC, Ethereum, and I forget what was the third one. Link, I think.
Yeah. And
I have a question though, Miles, for such a situation. Like, say I'm on a 1,000 account, right? And I risk about $10 for every trade.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I could go for 100 trades, but that wouldn't be very smart, right? Because in the end, if everything goes sour, I would be losing the entire account, right? So what do you recommend in terms of total, I don't even know how to call it, total risk on the entire account?
Yes. So, and this is what we were going to touch on when we were back testing, because many people were saying, because I know a lot of people did catch the XRP trade, but the reason why we gave out the analysis for you to do what you want with it is because we had too much risk exposure with our Bitcoin Cash, our
Link and Polkadot.
Polkadot, and what was the other trade?
Chainlink.
And Chainlink trade. Well, Chainlink's almost complete, but the two main exposures were on Polkadot and
Bitcoin Cash.
Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you've already got decent trades running at a decent lot, so this leads on to my point, it just makes sense to put the right amount of money on a few positions rather than spreading it across 10 or 5. It's pointless, because all that's going to happen is the loss that you're going to make is just going to be compounded. And this is how a lot of people always end up in square one. They'll make a profit, they'll double their account, they'll triple their accounts, but unfortunately, all it takes is for one bad decision. And because they've got too much, they're spread so thin, and they've got too much trades on that are all pretty much correlated with each other, it just wipes them out. And that's why we strategically chose not to actually give out the XRP entry, because again, there was just too much risk exposure at the time. But we should be able to obviously take the risk off the table with Bitcoin Cash, at least, as it is, doing quite well. And then obviously we can start adding position on new trades, and then obviously going over new positions. But what I'm going to do now, and again, these questions are great, very important, because I know many people do have these queries in their mind. But I always say it's to everyone, there's a reason why we don't do certain things. And there's also a reason why we just haven't, just made the Telegram completely public. It's because what will end up happening, again, one thing that you said is important. You were happy with 150 profit, but suppose someone comments, "Hey, I just tripled my account, Miles. Thanks for the trade." What's going to happen? You're going to be like, "Okay, I need to triple my account," and then you're going to do something stupid. You end up losing. It just gets messy. So it's slow and steady built. Like I said, wins the race. Slowly but surely, we'll start introducing new factors. And introducing new strategies that you can use to grow faster. But for now, let's just make money. If that makes sense. And again, the trailing side of stuff, the stock market and cryptocurrency correlation that I've back tested, that we'll go over that tomorrow. That'll be more in depth. You also learn to trail. You learn to use Fibonacci and all these other tools. But again, that is the advanced side of stuff. But to begin with now, let's do some back testing. Let's look at some of the trades that we took and see how we can also improve moving forward.
Yeah, before I bring the charts up, I think it's Joe. You're on $650 in your account, right? I just want to say that on my challenge account that I'm doing with you guys, my current balance is $685. Plus, I'm in those 3 trades as well with a profit of, I'm up 36%. So if these trades do hit profit, then that will be almost $800 on the account. So you don't need to feel discouraged that you only made $150. This is what we're doing at an entry level. So basically, at a basic challenge for basic beginners, we're pretty much at the same level. you're on $150, I'm on $185 profit. So again, for people that have doubled their accounts, obviously they're more advanced. So everyone who are still new, don't feel down that there's other people making more money. We're doing this challenge together. We're all going to hit the goal at the end. So just wanted to say that out there, not to feel down if you're not making as much as anyone else. As long as you're in profit, that's all that matters.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, thanks for that.
And remember, you can't go broke making a profit.
Perfect.
Also, could it be that some other people are not using Kraken, so they can use more leverage than 3 or 5x?
That's another factor as well.
No, but if you
Kraken, there only is a 5x leverage. So on Binance, people that have, well, it was 100, it's gone down to 20 now. But still having a 20x leverage, you're allowed to place more trades. So that does help with the profit as well.
Just one thing, can I use Binance from Spain without a problem?
From Spain? As in, are you in Spain now? Or is it like a VPN?
No, I'm sat in Spain.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, as long as you got the internet and a laptop, you're fine. You can trade from anywhere in the world.
No, but he's saying about Binance in particular. Binance is restricted in most countries now. So yeah, so even so even as a UK citizen, you won't be able to like withdraw or deposit or anything like that. So yeah.
Okay. That's what the whole court case today is about as well, between the US Senate and Gary Gensler, is about the regulations between crypto exchanges. So if we do see those clarities come through today, then Binance should be back available, not just Binance, but most major exchanges should be back available for most countries as well, if the regulations go through.
Just got me used to Kraken now, so I don't know how to do it on Binance.
You don't need to use Binance.
Yeah, just stick to the exchange you're used to.
Yeah, I'll stick with what I know then.
Yeah. Perfect. So firstly, it has Bitcoin. I don't know where my trade position's gone. But, Miles, do you remember our entry price on Bitcoin? It was that break there.
Did it delete your analysis?
Yeah, my position.
Okay, I'll get
I think it was the break of this level, wasn't it?
It was
around 31,300.
It was the entry was 30,802.
$30,802. Okay. And profit was 33, wasn't it?
Yeah, 349.
Stop loss was 29, right?
Yeah, 29,327.
That's it, perfect. Yeah, so this was the trade we placed last week. So we did get in on the 21st, which was exactly a week ago. And within, what day was that? 23rd. So 2 days, our take profit was hit on Bitcoin within 2 days. And for those of you that are still in the trade or held the trade, now this trade was an 8% win. If you held it, or if you are still in it,
trailing at least, yeah.
Trailing at least, yeah. You could be up a total, currently 28% on this trade, if you're still in. Obviously, this move was unexpected. We didn't expect, a massive rally this week, not this big anyway.
Yeah.
But again, once it does retrace or even break above this level, this is going to be our re-entry for another position, or just to add on the current position we're in now.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the high time frame, this is the major key level that we're waiting the break from. Now, this is the fib level, the major resistance level. Once the price breaks above this level, this is when we can start placing and holding and compounding trades from here. Once this breaks, that's when we know the market is back in the bull run. So obviously from here, this was just a bear trend, you know, don't get mistaken, guys. It's not a bear market. It's just a bearish trend. It's called a retracement. So once the price breaks back into the bullish trend, that's when you know the price will keep going. And obviously for everyone that wants to compound, we'll have targets every step of the way. So every fib level, wait for the retracement, re-enter, wait for the retracement, re-enter. But of course, it's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of technical data that needs to be looked into first. But this is exactly how we're going to get our challenge done before the end of the year. It's compounding.
So what we'll do as well is we'll obviously go over the, in fact, do it whilst we're analyzing this, because I'm going to show you why we actually place this trade. So if you get up Ethereum and go over the loss, so the 2.8% loss, who in here was hit by that loss, 2.8% loss? If you did, let me know.
Yeah, me.
Perfect. Okay. Who else got the loss?
I did.
Okay. Me. Okay, perfect. So let's go over that loss quickly. So the entry was 1740 and the stop loss was 1790.
I think I only lost about $8 though.
Yeah,
because the
risk reward.
Yeah, so that was literally right here as our entry. And the reason why we entered was because this was the retest of the bearish movement. So we see this is a sniper entry. Let me just zoom in. Look, this is your sniper entry. If price goes down, it consolidates, it retests, and then falls. That's the perfect entry to get in for a bearish position. That's why we sold. Of course, we did get caught out as it was a false breakout on a higher time frame, and that's what caused the price to go up. But this is your perfect selling indicator.
Yeah.
We're not always going to win 100% of our trades. We will occasionally get caught out. But if you're looking for a selling opportunity, you cannot get any more perfect than this setup right there.
And it was also a test entry as well. Like in our minds, when we set out this trade, it was almost like playing a game of chess. Because in our minds, we said, okay, we believe that we're near enough close to the bottom, but let's get out some trades. For this challenge, let's get out some new trades. I think we have a nice shorting opportunity, at least to what was the take profit? I believe it was the take profit
1650, I think.
Yeah, maybe 1650, and there was a reason why we believe that could be the bottom. But at the back of our minds, or at least me, I said to myself, okay, well, if our stop loss is hit on this trade, I will know 80% this is the bottom. So as soon as our stop loss was hit, you will see that how soon we obviously gave out the trade on Matic, and then obviously the Bitcoin trade as well, because immediately I knew we found the bottom. So if you go back to Bitcoin, just zoom in, go on a 4-hour time frame. So zoom, So where you've got the $30,000 mark. I was actually going to give a trade then, which was right after our loss on Ethereum. But I said to myself, okay, you know what? Let me just wait for the confirmation. I said, let me wait for the confirmation, because if we get this trade wrong already too soon, it will deplete everyone's confidence. So I was like, okay, let's get this perfect. So what I did was, and I remember because it was the night before, and then when I woke up, price spiked, and I was like, I knew it. I should have just given it out, straight away. But what happened was, as soon as we started to, as you guys can see, we're starting to break that trend line there. Do you guys see that? We're starting to break that trend line. Now, what you will notice is that I gave the trade before we even broke the trend line, because I was that confident that we were at a market bottom. And as you can see, that played off extremely well. And obviously it's paying great dividends. Now, one thing I will say about the crypto market is you do have to be able to make decisions fast, right? So with other markets, usually, typically, you can wait for more confirmations. So, for example, I could have waited maybe another day or maybe even a few hours to get an entry on this, just to wait for a solid confirmation. But with this space, because things move so fast, you have to get that entry almost precise. You have to be on the ball game, which makes me understand, as a trader that's been in the market for so long, why so many people aren't able to trade the crypto market. Because even though for me, I'd find it easier than nearly every other market, people could find it hard because of how fast it is. It's so fast, which means it almost plays with your emotions as well, right? So it basically causes you to basically make decisions that you shouldn't make, even though like a gift horse could be looking you in the mouth. Because it moves so fast, it can cause you to make bad decisions. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we obviously took this trade. And as you can see, the reason why we gave that take profit level, and obviously we didn't just do a 28% take profit level, is because, as you can see, where the take profit is, we're close to another area of resistance, right? Now, typically at this area of resistance is where we should at least start to see a pullback, right? And that didn't happen, which is why I say trailing is important. And as you can see, we pretty much moved in a straight line. And then if you scroll up, Ravi, as we got closer and closer to that $40,000 mark, obviously I knew some of you were trailing as well. So I said to you guys, we're up almost 25 or 20, 26, however much percent it was. I said specifically, you're up this much, you know, do not be afraid to take profit. And then what happened like half an hour later? As you can see, the market dumped. Do you guys see that red candle there? The market dumped immediately. And I knew that would happen because we're at a psychological level, right? But as you can see, we're now starting to move back to the upside. But yeah, this was an incredible trade, and the trade isn't yet finished. There's going to be so much more opportunities on Bitcoin. So make sure you stay glued to the screen. Does anyone have any questions about this particular trade?
I do, actually. I am looking very closely at this trade. I want your opinion on whether there is a potential to create a head and shoulder pattern if we start to reject now this area. I have a stop loss that I keep quite tight, and right now is at around 36,450, where the support level is. I may be wrong with my support level, but what is your take on this?
It was kind of cutting out. So you've got a stop loss at a trailing stop at 36,000. You said?
Yeah, I have my stop loss at 36,450 right now, which is no, a bit lower, 36,430, right below the support line that I drew during this trade. I don't know if BTC is gonna, I'm keeping a close eye because it can form an head and shoulder pattern here. But what is your take on Bitcoin right now?
Okay, so Ravi, could you draw in the 3600 arrow? I just want to see where his stop loss is quickly, because the names are covering the price. Let's just see where this is. So 3600.
It's 36.4, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you never want to do it at round numbers either. There's specific reasons why you never do stop loss at round numbers. But again, I'll get into that on another day. So what I would do, I like where you've put that stop loss, but I wouldn't make it a round number. So I would do it below that level, just below it. So whether it's
even the fib level right here is perfect.
Yeah, even Well, no, but even if you want to do it tighter than that, just take it off the round number. Yeah, so even there, it's fine.
So in terms of that head and shoulders pattern, that is a possibility. So obviously you got your left shoulder, your head, and possible if a right shoulder does happen. But for that to happen, we're going to see the market go down, up, and then down. But at this stage right here, that's when, you know, we won't be looking for a long. So if the price ever breaks this support level, that's when you know to close your trade out. Don't hold it until it hits your stop loss. Because you know, if it's lost that level of support, it's got a chance of coming down. So as soon as that breaks, that's when you close. Don't wait for all this to happen.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, let's say I wanted to be aggressive. If I wanted to be aggressive with this, I would have sold this at 40,000. You see right at that resistance, I would have sold immediately. Pretty much took the risk off this and just see what happens. That's what I would have done. You know, as you can see, prices going down as we speak. So yeah, that could be a good setup. Where you have your take profit is fine, because I would probably look to sell this if price goes below 35,000.
Yeah. If it does break this level here, then a sell.
But for me, it would be short term. Like I said, in my opinion, this is the second leg of the bull trend now. This is it. This is the second leg. You know, a lot of money is coming back into the market again. So yeah, for me personally, I would hold this. I don't think this is going down at all. I believe we're going to break hopefully 42,000.
It's a bullish triangle pattern. Like,
yeah,
look, it's got higher lows. It's got that same level of resistance. It's going to keep bouncing here, and eventually, you know, it will break out, retest, and this is going to be an entry for when the market goes up.
Actually, I don't think it will retest. I don't even think it will retest. Like, things are moving so fast now.
Yeah.
I don't even believe we're going to see a retest. I believe we will see a solid break. So I'll wait for that. Again, I'll see the chart. I'll read the chart. I'll also look at some volume as well. I'll look at the actual orders that are being put through as well, because we like to factor this into our trading. I'll take that all into account, and we could even take a position at 41,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as I bounce anywhere of this trend line, like anywhere here,
yeah,
tight stop loss under support, and then yeah, we won't even have a take profit. We would just let this ride as high as it can go, and then compound every key level on the way up.
Yeah, we'll start to compound, and then obviously we'll just put some short-term day trades where we can literally just make money whilst we're holding as well. Yeah. Again, we have so much to do. Like, this truly is the start. But yeah, does anyone have any more questions about
to close this one? So first of all, thank you for this, because it makes a lot of sense. Let's say, following what you guys just said, for me, this in order to be in between like a positive and negative scenario, stop loss then would be around the area of 38,320. So where we
will be under 38.
Yeah, it'll be under 38.
Around 37.5 maybe. So this level here, underneath the fib level.
Underneath the fib level.
So this, if we enter here, this is our previous low, yeah? So if this is 38, we want to have it around here. So around 37.
Okay.
What we're going to do as well, I'll probably touch on it tomorrow, is understanding these psychological levels. Because the psychological levels are actually where most people are losing money, even when they're right about a direction of the trade. And I spoke about this in the previous webinar. Has it ever happened where you've set a trade, you know, just take profit was right, but then price goes all the way to your stop loss, and then like an hour or two later, you see it go in the right direction and hit your take profit? It's because you're not understanding these psychological levels, institutional levels, and stuff like that. You know, you have to understand that. Otherwise, no matter, you can predict, you know, that it'll go up, but if you don't know how to set your stop loss properly, or your take profit properly, you will lose. you always lose the game, unfortunately. So we have to start understanding these levels.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Anything else before we move on to, and does anyone have any questions about the loss before we move forward, about the Ethereum loss? Just go back to the Ethereum loss, because again, guys, you know, obviously the success is great, but let's talk about this loss here. Does anyone have any questions about this loss? And how did you feel when this loss occurred? How did it make you feel?
I know a few people in the group didn't take this trade as well, and they bought at the bottom instead.
That's what I did, yeah.
Yep.
Great job, Elena. A great. Is this from Italy or France?
She's in
France, yeah. Paris.
Okay, so you were on the 1-to-1 as well. So that's what I'm saying. You have that competitive advantage, which is what we were talking about. No problem. Next trade. Great mentality, Joe. That is the mentality you need to have. I tried to reverse down in a diamond and instead proved bullish flag on a 1 hour. Okay. Does anyone have?
I was talking about the Bitcoin. Instead of the head and shoulders pattern, it actually tried to reverse yesterday afternoon quite heavily.
Yeah.
It made a diamond over there and it failed, which is a very low rate, right? Typically, a diamond always reverses.
Yeah. And
anyways,
you know, great spot. But even beyond that, it rejected our 38.2 fib level.
Yep.
You know, it rejected our 38 point, because I was actually looking at a shorting opportunity, but we needed to close below basically that fib. We rejected it. As soon as we rejected it, I knew we were going up.
I took a short actually at 4,200 or something like that.
Nice, very aggressive.
Not now, on the diamond actually. And then I got stopped out on the way back up.
Yeah, you should have trailed it. So, okay, so just a quick tip. Just a quick tip, guys. When you're trading against a trend, your objective is to be in and out as quickly as possible. Remember, the trend is your friend until it ends. What you did there was a counter trend trade. Now, if you were disciplined enough, you would have looked to exit that trade as quickly as possible or trailed as quickly as possible. You shouldn't have taken a loss on that. But don't worry, you live and you learn. But remember, guys, whenever you're trading against a trend, you have to be looking to exit. Your exit in a counter trend is just as important as your entry. More important than your entry, actually. It takes
you. Oh, sorry, Gomas.
Yeah, because it takes a lot more, you know, when you're trading against a trend. But it was a nice, that's great though on your behalf, because again, I was looking at the short as well, but it just didn't materialize because it rejected that level. Okay, does anyone have any more questions about the loss? We just go back onto the Ethereum USD loss, and obviously we'll move on to the Ethereum trade, which is similar to Bitcoin, but we'll discuss that as well. Does anyone have any questions about the loss? Okay, we'll move on to Ethereum.
Okay, so this is our Ethereum position. So this is the signal, the limit order we actually placed. So we actually, funny enough, we placed this order before the sell order. So we placed this order when the price was here because we expected the bounce of this level. But when the price went down, that's what made us sell. So we did leave this order in because we knew that the price, you know, once we got taken out of stop loss, we knew the price was going to go back up. So, you know, as it did, the market did go up. So it did trigger our order at 1930. had our stop loss at 18.30. And this was a very good perfect 4-to-1 risk reward trade. And you can see from the entry, price went up, had a little rejection of the resistance level, and then it just shot up straight from there. You know, an easy 20% move in this this was a short period of time as well. So from the 21st, it take profit on the 26th, around a week, so like 5 days. Again, right now, you know, it hit our take profit perfectly just before the resistance level. So now we see the price retrace down. It's on its way back up. Oops. So when we do see a break of this level, again, hopefully we'll try and wait for the retest. But if the market is just full of momentum, a lot of volatility, we will probably just look for an entry and jump in. But hopefully on a lower time frame, there will be a retest. And if there is, even on a 15-minute, that will be our entry for Ethereum. And then from there, this will be our holding position to possibly our next target up here. This will be another compounding move as well.
You hear me?
Yes, Hassan, say that again.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. I don't know if because I got disconnected, I was going to ask about our setup on Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
I don't understand why we made the entry at 510, whereas 510 is it looks like a resistance level, and why would we like enter on resistance instead of waiting for the retest? Because I've been on the red for like a couple of days now on the Bitcoin Cash. I'm not sure what can we do about it. That's why I was gonna just ask what is the justification of 510 as an entry.
Okay, so let's just complete Ethereum first, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions about our Ethereum trade?
Yeah, again, it's me. I was not in front of the PC when the price reached and surpassed the take profit and came back down. So I lost that take profit, and I'm still in the trade with, again, a tight stop loss. And if you could help just giving me a review of the stop loss, I currently have it. It's let me think. I have a partial stop loss at 21.56 and the total stop loss at 21.00.
Where's your stop loss now?
I have two stop losses. I have a 50% stop loss at 21.56 and then the close position at 21.00, which Miles will will say, never put your stop loss at a round number. Yeah.
You see how common this is, though. Do you see? Yeah, we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean about competitive advantage. If everybody's doing the same exact thing, no wonder why most people are getting the same results. You know, these order levels are well understood by these institutions and a lot of the big players, right? They understand where these stop losses are. So remember, guys, never put your stop loss at a round number.
Yeah, that's that is clear now, and it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so I'm looking to update it. I am still in this trade. It's very close to the take profit level, and so what is your take on this?
I would personally take my profit
right now,
because it's coming down. It's going to be at this level for a while now, depending on how the hearings go today. But even if it does push up, we're going to be looking for another entry. So if you take profit now, your account's growing by 20%. So
yeah.
on a $500 account, if you make $100 on this trade, your new risk will be set at $600, not $500. Yeah, remember, our challenge is to grow our account. So every take profit you hit, the next trade you make can always go in at a higher risk. Not a higher risk, but as a higher stake size. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because even if you're compounding from at the very bottom, you're always going to have $15 risk, $15 risk. But if your account grows, you can have a $20 risk, and then a $25 risk, and a $30 risk. And the higher your risk is, the more profit you can make.
Ravi, see on the moving averages,
Yes.
I've been using exponential moving averages. Is it just better just to use the standard?
They're both the same.
Oh, that really, yeah.
One is just slightly delayed, but the simple moving average, exponential moving average, they both pretty much move exactly the same.
It just puts more weight to the first half of the range. Is that right?
Say that again.
So if you have a 20 moving average, exponential moving average, it puts more weight to the first 10 than the previous 10. I think that's the way it works. It sort of puts more weight on the most recent 10. Yeah. Okay. But moving average is fine. Okay, that's the
any moving average is fine. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, so with the day trades that we're taking, remember our day trades is what makes us profit. Our compounding trade is what's going to build our account wealth. Yeah, there's always a difference. So if you make sure you can have regular profits, your account wealth will grow a lot faster, especially when you're compounding over a long period of time.
And if you knew, do you know how to trail at all? Or
me?
Whoever was talking about the trade.
Mateo, I think it was.
Mateo, yeah.
Mateo, do you know how to trail?
You mean like we talked in the first meeting? So raise up your stop loss to your take profit level, let the trade run, and then have your stop loss on the second trade, and like basically run the previous trade safe.
You know how to effectively trail without adding positions, like just one position.
I'm not sure I get what you're saying.
So is a strategy where you drag your stop loss into profit around key and significant levels. So that way, if the market reverses, it will take you out in a profit. And of course, as the market goes up, you can effectively just ride the trend upwards. Do you know how?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just do that then.
Yeah, this is why, because we're close to resistance level here at 41K for Bitcoin, I was specifically asking about my current stop losses, because I feel like I have to bring them closer to where the prices are right now.
So like I said, Ravi said he'll take profit. Me personally, I would continue trailing, but tightly, if you know how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, then of course, take profit. If you for 80% of people, the right thing to do here would be to take profit. But of course, if you know how to effectively trail at this area, then you will understand that you could basically not only take advantage of a new position if it breaks out, but also effectively continue to compound that first position risk-free. So again, it's all about the details. The profit is in the details. So if you know how to effectively trail properly, then of course trail it. If you do not, then it would be wise to just capture that huge return.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to go for?
I currently I think I moved my stop loss on the Bitcoin trade on the level that you guys suggested before, which makes a lot of sense now that I look at it. The Ethereum trade, I have a very, very, very tight stop loss. Here, let me measure it. I just moved it up. So it's 2.16%, right under the support line. It's 2.16% below the current price. So,
do you know how I look at that? So when I'm trailing, or let's say I'm making a decision, what you just made just now, I say to myself, okay, so if this reverses, I will lose 2.16% of my total gain. However, if it goes up another 20%, I'm risking 2.16% of which is profit that hasn't yet been realized. But the upside is I can make another 20%. That's how I do the maths in my head. I look at it like I'm taking another trade without placing another trade.
Yeah, yeah, it's I share the same idea about this. But yeah, in this specific situation, because Ethereum is in this like it's becoming a spring, but it's also like below the take profit area of the trade. I was a bit unsure. It was easier for me to like trail on Bitcoin, especially because it started to like jump up.
Yeah. So I believe this will continue to the upside based on what I'm looking at right in front of me. To be honest with you, this is a type of, you know, to be honest with you, this looks like it's going to explode. But of course, if that momentum, you know, doesn't continues, and of course, it will completely crash. But what I'm looking at right now, I would be trailing this. There's no way in hell I'm taking profit on this. Maybe before, if or after those, you know, those pin bars, etc. But based on that rejection on that middle candle, can you guys see that? And then it starts to the upside. Not even that one, Ravi. Yeah, to the side. No, the right, the smaller ones.
The
right.
big wick
Yeah,
down.
yeah, no, but
No, the one down, I think. The big wick down around 2,200.
yeah,
The down one.
up,
Yeah,
no.
that's, I
No, no.
vented on that wick, but
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So that one as well. I was going to say the other one, but yeah, that one as well. I mean, once we've rejected and are making our way upside, think about it, guys. If we failed to break this area right now, what makes you think it's going to start crashing from where it is now?
No, we'll go up here before it starts crashing.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying I look at this like another trade position. And I really do believe, obviously we're going to talk about this more towards the end and tomorrow, but I truly believe we found the bottom now. So it makes sense to capitalize on these entries right now. So yeah, me personally, I would trail this 100%. But what we'll do now, we'll move on to that Bitcoin Cash query. Who was that made that query?
Yeah, I was.
Who was that?
That's me, Hassan.
Hassan.
So I have a question on the the entry of 510. I mean, looking back, it looks like it's a resistance level, and I thought that we only enter after a retest on resistance being flipped into support. So I've entered this like a couple of days ago now, as soon as you guys basically sent it on our Telegram, and I've been in the red like most of the time. Yeah, we jumped up twice, but we never reached even close to our take profit. So I didn't even like try to trade or something. So I was just thinking, why would that be an entry? That's
okay. So if you go on a 1 day time frame, Ravi. So if you go on a 1 day time frame, you'll see that we actually broke out at around, because we were going to give this earlier, but we didn't. So as you can see, the breakout of the trend line, if you just scroll up, yeah.
No, which trend line?
If you can just zoom out, actually, because I can't see the numbers on the side. In fact, just go on the weekly quickly, because I just so everyone can see the full picture, and zoom all the way out. Okay, perfect. And then where we are now. So when we're making this trading decision on Bitcoin Cash in particular, is we're looking at it from basically it recovering from one of its lowest points of the year. Remember, not all our decisions are going to be based purely on technical analysis, etc. Because of course, you know, you're not going to get, you know, all the home run trades trading that way. So does everyone see this morning star formation that is formed? So we've got a red candlestick, we've got our pin bar, and then we've got what's forming now, a bullish candlestick. If we can just circle that. And also, does everyone notice the channel that we're currently in? Does everyone notice the morning star formation?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. And does everyone else notice that we're also in a channel as well? So if you zoom out, Ravi, so everybody can see the channel, does everyone notice the channel that we're in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when we see price action like this, sometimes we're just looking for an entry at the lowest possible level. Now, bear in mind, we did miss a cheaper entry. Now, after price did start to rally, in our minds, that is our opportunity to enter a trade that we were already going to enter, right? At a cheaper level than it would be waiting for price to breach to 23.6 fib. So when we go on the 1-day time frame now, you can see that price really started to take off at the start of the week. So even when Bitcoin and Ethereum was rallying last week, Bitcoin Cash didn't really move that much in comparison to those two other trades. So all we're looking for is an entry on Bitcoin Cash, which you guys should know by now is a cryptocurrency that we're quite bullish on, right? So as we're now expecting Bitcoin Cash to start to take off, instead of looking for the breakout of that resistance area, all we're looking for is an entry at a cheap price. So we're looking at an entry based on the price rather than an entry based on, a breakout of any kind, etc., because we're anticipating the breakout before it happens, right? Does that make sense, Hassan? So we're basically anticipating.
Yes.
And if you go on the 4-hour time frame, and this is what I say to you guys, stop loss placement is very important, because look where price went. Price went pretty much near our stop loss level, but not exactly right next to our stop loss level. And then as you can see, price is starting to move to the upside. So if you look at our downside risk, which is about
9.8%.
9.8%, and then our upside gain
25.25.
25.2, and obviously we definitely will be trailing this. The take profit we gave is super conservative, but does that sound like a good deal to you? You're risking 9.6%, which is, to be honest with you, profit. This is a trade where you basically can't lose money because we already have successful trades. So this is what you call a freebie trade. So for us, it makes sense to maximize that. So does this trade make sense to you now, Hassan? Right? We've got a decent stop loss. We've got a really nice risk to reward trade. And we're basically anticipating the breakout before it happens, right? Because we don't want to be chasing the market, right? So for example, when this breaks out, there will be no retest on this. I hope you realize that.
No, this is the retest. It's already happened.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, once this breakout, so for example, go back to Bitcoin USD just so you can see live what we have. So do you guys see that massive breakout there? Go on that candle. In fact, scroll down, Ravi. Scroll down. In fact, do it from two spaces. So do it from the actual where is it? The break, just scroll down. So move the mouse down near the $30,000 area.
This breakout, or the bottom
Just further down, yeah, around that area. So once price has broken out of that first trend line, have you noticed there was no pullback back to the trend line?
It even made a gap on the CME, I think.
Exactly. There was no pullback, right? And this is the exact same thing we're expecting on Bitcoin Cash. You got to remember, Hassan, this trade is pretty much similar to that Bitcoin Cash trade. The only difference is there was no drawdown on this, right? I gave out this trade before we even broke that resistance area. I'm doing the exact same thing on Bitcoin Cash. Obviously, this comes from experience. This is something that you have to learn and develop. But remember, guys, we're not just waiting for break retest. If you wait for that on the crypto market, you'll miss most of the trades. So that's why I said it's all about the entry. It's all about understanding liquidity in the market, psychological level, institutional levels, and so much more. But this trade, when it plays out, I mean, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's pretty much at break even now.
Okay, okay, I get it. I think maybe because I don't have that much experience, I didn't see what you were just explaining.
No, but don't worry, it's
So
a good
let's
question.
see how it plays out.
It's a good question.
I'm sorry, but do you also sorry, do you also like take into consideration the market cap? Because I noticed most of the trades as of now are all like medium to high caps, and none of the lower ones which have higher risk, higher reward.
Yeah, okay. So the reason, again, we're taking things step by step. If we start giving out trade on lower caps, people find it hard enough trying to trade Ethereum, Bitcoin. Could you imagine, trading a low cap coin with a risk of about 50%, or also a crazy. Remember, guys, the lower the cap, the higher the reward, but the more experience you need, right? Maybe in the next few weeks or months, we'll introduce some of those, those solid trades, but let's build up the account first. Let's accumulate more money. Let's get to a stage where you could comfortably lose 20%, 30% and not bat an eyelid. That's what I'm trying to get everyone to do now. I'm trying to get everybody loaded so that way you could have a more comfortable approach to your trading. You could take on more risk effectively with the right strategy, which means you'll make more money long term. However, if we do things backwards and then we've got people losing thousands of dollars or pounds, it's not going to work because everybody's psychology will be ruined. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. Master the Bitcoin, the Ethereum first, accumulate some profits on that, and then you can play around with the low caps once you get more comfortable, more experienced, and obviously when the time is right. But I don't believe everybody in this group is ready for that yet. Of course, that is more advanced stuff, which again we'll talk about more tomorrow. But for now, let's just get comfortable making these kind of gains to start with. I hope that answers your questions, but low cap for now is just too risky for everybody.
Yeah, agreed. Clear. Thanks.
Yeah. Does anyone have any more questions on Bitcoin Cash before we move on?
I do have a very short question. I was when it started to go down from the 510 level, there were on the 1 hour time frame a couple of indecision, like double week candles. And on the second one, I placed another smaller position just to compensate a bit. And initially was going down even on the second indecision week. But is that something that you guys would have shared as well, potentially, or if we were not in at the beginning, just like lower the average entry price a bit, or there was too much risk involved there? It was specifically my second entry was when the price was at 482.27.
So this is what you're talking about, right? These downward wicks. Yeah. So remember, we originally wanted to get in around this level anyway, but when we saw the market push up, we obviously missed a trade. It was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So obviously, as Miles said, in the crypto market, you won't always get a pullback. So another reason why we entered at the top here. Now, with these downward wicks, that just shows rejection towards the downward side, right? Yeah. So that should give you confidence that, okay, the price is got wicks going down, the price shouldn't go any lower. But if you had this trend drawn in, you can see that the price will bounce off this level. And that's exactly what it did. It bounced off, it went up. It still tried to go down, but now you can see it's bouncing off these levels, right?
And I actually told some of the people, I said, if you're not yet in this trade, you can enter. So did anyone buy at this low? Because I gave out another, indication to buy at this level. Did anyone that maybe missed the first entry buy on that second call I gave?
I re-entered at 500 on the way up from there.
Here, yeah?
No. Yeah, a little bit more to the right, but yeah.
All right, okay.
Is anyone else in Bitcoin Cash? I mean, this should take off
very soon,
within the next few hours, to be honest with you. And again, if it doesn't matter because it's a freebie trade. I got 2 positions. Okay, great.
I have a question, Miles. You said in one of the other seminars that we have to play the time frame, so don't expect to get a weekly profit if you are putting your stop loss and entering on a 1 hour type chart or such.
Yeah.
But my question is, since apparently we entered kind of very close to that low trend line of the channel you showed us, why don't we try to move the take profit higher, or should we do that once we see it break that resistance line?
Okay, so the reason why we have these day trade take profit levels is simply for the fact that we anticipate that being the next significant take profit level. So the next level that price should easily, comfortably trend towards before we see a reversal. The problem with having just let's say a 20, 30% take profit level is, unfortunately, the market can reverse, which, you know, we see time and time again, which means the more inexperienced people, in their minds, as soon as that reversal happens, it's what's happening. It confuses people, you know, it can really affect one's psychology. So therefore, you know, allowing people to capture some of these profits over a short period of time is something that boosts, you know, the trader's confidence overall. So it's good psychologically. The long take profit levels, obviously, you know, behind the scenes, we do have these levels in mind. We are trailing them, but just for the nature of the group and for obviously some of the novices that are in the group, it wouldn't be beneficial if we just had, you know, long shot take profit. I mean, it's kind of like spot trading again, essentially. Whereas this allows people to really see some of their profits, withdraw some of their profits, and enjoy some of those short-term profits. And even the stop loss level, as you can see, our entry that we entered on, the stop loss reflects that entry, if that makes sense. Could you imagine if we had an entry like this and we had our stop loss at like 8?
Right.
It would, and that's what people do. People make, you know, those kind of entries, but then they have like, you know, super tight stop losses, expecting, you know, something big to happen. And then they've got their take profits like 50% away. It doesn't work like that, you know, so you know, everything has to be organized and precise. But I'm glad to see your progress. You're doing extremely well from those sessions that we took. So I'm glad to see your progress. You're absolutely crushing it. And
it's all thanks to Ravi. Thank you, Ravi.
Great job. Great job.
And it wasn't like this at the beginning. I think that Ravi can still remember when I was sending emails. Oh my God, I lost another $500 on this stupid trade.
Yeah, but it's good. You know, that one-to-one that you guys did was incredible. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. The devil's in the detail. The profit is in the detail. It just takes one piece of information that could transform your trading journey,
it's
right?
That spark that hits you.
The spark that hits you, because I remember Ravi was telling me that, you know, Alina, you were taking on too much risk, but didn't know how to manage that risk.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And also my entries were not spot on, so I was kind of FOMOing into some trades.
They were very premature, your entries.
Yeah.
And now I realize the exit is very important too, because on the Bitcoin trade I entered at 29,500 way before you guys called it. And then I re-entered with your same trades, right? The same entry, stop loss and such. So I re-entered, but I kept my original position.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it started reversing from 4,500, I actually, I don't know, I was actually just lost in translation in there. And I lost about maybe, I don't know, $200 worth of profits because I exited not at the right moment.
Yeah. But even regardless of that, you're doing really, really well. And what I like as well, and I made a video on this yesterday, and I was talking about how You know, sometimes people say, you know, control your emotions and stuff, but I feel like it's important to play to your strength. You're obviously an aggressive trader. So therefore, the strategy that you've been taught and that Ravi went over with you is a strategy that allows you to be who you are as a trader, but in a safe way, if that makes sense. Because you're still aggressive. You're kind of like me as a trader. You're still very aggressive, but you're a profitable trader now. You know how to like control that aggression and basically allow you to now be profitable. So congratulations. Great job.
Thank you, guys. Let's get one Bitcoin now.
let's do it. You know, the way things are looking, I can see you doing that by the end of August. But yeah, and as you guys can see, Bitcoin Cash is now going up as we speak. But yeah, and we'll do a vote. If you guys want more aggressive entries, we'll be happy to supply that to you guys. But of course, we just want, you know, at the moment, we just want because a lot of people are new and we understand what the psychology is like. You know, we do want to make sure that we give you guys the very, very best and safest trades in our opinions. But if you want more aggressive trades, if you want more, you know, if you want us to go in even more, let us know. You know, now's the time to tell us. If you want more aggression, you want more, you know, more positions, you want more, let us know. Aggressive is fine for me. And remember, guys, not everybody in here will be an aggressive trader, right? And I say this all the time. We've got other traders on our desk, Dash, but she's more on the FX and inside. Hopefully we'll get her to come on, you know, on one of these days to go through some technical stuff. But yeah, so she will be a more conservative trader on our desk, right? So me and her are like the polar opposites. So even this Bitcoin Cash trade, Hassan, she would say, no, I want to wait for the break. I don't want to enter at that level. You shouldn't enter at that level. So that's what I'm saying. Hassan, you might be a more conservative trader, but you just don't know it yet. And that's a strategy that we can work on with you. But of course, you know, you'd have to reach out. But that's the point. Not everybody here is going to be aggressive. So don't, you know.
Because that's exactly what I said before the trade as well, Miles. Remember that evening I said, you know, this is a potential position on Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah.
And the next morning you said send a signal. I was like, wait, we've missed the entry.
Yeah, but I told Ravi straight away. I was like, nah, we've got too many trades running. Let's keep it one step at a time. Yeah. Even XRP, Ravi was itching to give. I just said, look, if it was me, obviously 100%, but we have to take it one step at a time. But let's do a vote now. Do we want more aggressive trades? Do we want more aggressive entries? Bearing in mind, this could mean more losses.
It's always going to be higher risk.
It will always be higher risk, but it's also higher reward.
Like if this candle closes blue at 5 o'clock or in the next hour, then I probably will jump into this.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's do a vote. If you want to see more aggressive trades, more aggressive entries, bearing in mind, this will mean potentially a lot more losses, press 1. If you're happy with the path that we're on so far, and you know you like the way things are going, press 2.
Miles, put the poll in Telegram so you can see the percentage.
Okay.
I have a question. Like, what do you think is better? Like to take more trades at a time with a lower risk percentage for each, or just to increase the risk percentage in safer trades?
I would say less is more. Personally, less is more, because I don't want you guys to confuse being aggressive with just taking garbage trades and hoping for the best. Like there has to be some type of strategy to it. But in my opinion, I would say going for those home runs, but being aggressive about those home runs is a good strategy. But just taking loads of trades, you know, for the sake of it, trying to accumulate tiny amounts of profits, to me, that's a waste of time. And I'm sure people, you know, have other stuff, their day job and other stuff on the side, or your business. I always say to people, you know, especially as a mentor to many students, I used to say to them straight, look, you're not going to have time for that. You know, you're not going to have time to sit there and take 5-10 minute trades every second. But let's just do the poll now. Okay, cool. It should be aggressive entries, actually, more aggressive entries. Yeah. Okay, I've just posted that now, so you guys can all vote.
Again, Matteo, from what you just said, the hype hasn't even started yet. We're just starting the second leg of the bull run.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, we're going to see, 50, 80, 100% moves, in a matter of hours or days. That's how fast that will come.
But you have to know how to capture that.
And we can update the challenge from 500 to 1 Bitcoin to 500 to 1 million, right?
100%. I mean, my plan is, to be honest, by the end of hopefully things start to pick up again overall cryptocurrency space by September. Yeah, 100%. With those current profits, we can just super increase, as long as your account size is increased by a decent amount, we can get super aggressive, start looking at some of the low cap coins, so like Bitcoin Diamond, for example, and other trade positions, and we could really take some really, really good trade setups, just like some of our students that made that $250,000 at the start of the year, 1 million, etc., all posted and verified. And this was at spot. This wasn't even at leverage. So when you see what we really have in mind, many of you are going to be shocked. But this is an apprenticeship, guys. We know what we're doing. We're just feeling this out. We're letting everybody get in their feet wet, letting everybody really start to take this in. Because many of you believe you're aggressive traders, but trust me, you're probably not. And what I mean by that is, can you stomach 4 or 5 trades, 4 to 5 losses in a row? Many of you can't do it. You think you can because things have started off well. But I guarantee you, if this was the opposite and we had all losses and 1 win, we would be having a complete different conversation. So let's just also keep that in mind. Once you get that loss back to back, that is what's really going to test your character as a trader and as an investor. But many of you obviously do have that resilience because you're still in the market. So everybody here can definitely make it. You just have to stay focused and also always want to learn more. Like I said, and Elena can tell you guys, what you're seeing as the tip of the iceberg is the details that will allow you from going from 150 profit to doubling your account week to week. It's the details. Okay, we've got the vote. 58% so far have said yes, 42% no. So we'll see how this looks by the end of the day.
Miles, Matteo gave a good idea about labeling the trades. So aggressive entries will label them as an aggressive trade. So people who want to take it can, people who don't can leave it.
Would have to think about that because the only issue with that is, let's say we have 4 aggressive trades in a week. Some of them more aggressive than others. How do you label that? This is really aggressive. This is not that aggressive, No,
it's just a simple aggressive entry, conservative entry.
We'll think about that. Because I want everybody to have that same experience to begin with. Obviously, we'll get into that in the next few weeks because we're also going to do that trailing stuff, that Matteo that you spoke about. We are actually going to start introducing that, hey, we're trailing now, here's your trailing stop. But for now, it's not a good idea. So
yeah, once the bull market, bull trend is confirmed again, that's when we'll start doing it.
Yeah.
That's when we can increase our risk as well.
Yeah.
So as Fran said, we can move up 5% or 7%, see how it goes.
Okay, 59%, 49%. Perfect. Before we move on, let's just have a look. Okay, so guys, obviously we do have Chainlink. Should we go? Okay, we'll end by looking at Chainlink as well. And obviously we'll send you guys a total performance in 1 week. How crazy is this, guys? This isn't even really a month, maybe 1 week and a bit. And this is the performance so far. It's going to be an incredible few months, honestly. So let's look at Chainlink.
So currently we are up 22% on our trade.
22% on Chainlink. If we zoom out first, let's just zoom out. Let's go on the daily time frame. Let's go on a daily time frame. Did anyone see my video on this? Because I broke this down. I did a video on this trade and why I bought, etc. Why I gave out this trade. Did anyone see that video? So, okay, perfect. So Chainlink is, this is on YouTube. Yeah, so Chainlink is a cryptocurrency that, in my opinion, has so much potential long term. I personally believe we're looking at what Ethereum was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. In my opinion, I believe Chainlink is going to be massive, right? So the way I was looking at this trade setup was from a value perspective. So I was looking at this from a perspective of value. And again, not just the technicals. I saw that we met a decent resistance area around $13 per coin. And what you'll find is whenever price comes close to this level, we've seen, so if you zoom out, Ravi, just zoom out, going back to scroll back. Yeah, there we go. So even if you look left, look at all that data, right? All that data that we've gone through, even the sell-off in May, and then we see the sell-off in June as well. When the last move to the downside occurred in July, and we were also at a significant support area, I knew immediately, not only did I want to accumulate my spot positions, but this would be an incredible leverage trading setup. And to be honest with you guys, this actually has the potential to be one of the biggest trades, leverage trades so far. Believe it or not, bigger than Bitcoin, bigger than Ethereum. And that's why, in fact, Andre made a very, he spotted something very important at the start. And I believe he sees it as well, which is why he said, is it best to keep taking profits or should I let this play out? Because I believe he also sees that opportunity here. So this position, this setup was a no-brainer. Again, but even so, we'll still be trailing this, but we'll be trailing this all the way back up to $50 and adding positions as well. This is going to be a massive trade going as we approach the end of summer. This is going to be a really good setup. Who in here is in Chainlink currently?
I hold Link, but I missed your signal. I hold Link in Binance, but not in Kraken. So
okay, who else is in Link? If you're in Link, just say one or put one. Perfect. So yeah, you guys are in a really good trading position. Obviously, you still want to make sure you're trailing, just because anything can happen, and it'll be wise to capture profits when we're super young. I took profit because I was $1 from stop loss. Should I get back in? No, I wouldn't get back in at this level. I would wait for the update in the group, because obviously now is definitely not a good time to re-enter.
It's almost at take profit level.
Yeah, it's almost at the take profit level, which is again a psychological level that we believe is a strong psychological level, which is why we're struggling to even hit that level. And that's why I updated, hey guys, we're very close to take profit. If you're not trailing, now might be a good time to take profit. Don't get greedy, because we are at a very, very significant level. So yeah, wait for the update. We are going to have more trades on this, as well as Polkadot. We'll get into that another time. But for now, let's do a quick Q&A. Any questions? Any questions at all?
I have a question about the Matic spot signal that you guys gave. Mainly the question is about why was that one a spot trade and not a leveraged one?
Again, volatility. I personally just believe it would, obviously on leverage, that would have been, that would have been the best trade so far. It would have made more profit than most of these put together. But again, we do have to think about the new people in the group. So in our minds, we said, okay, this will do well. It will do at least 100, 200%. Which is still really, really good. But again, we do have to think about some of the people in the group that are new. We do not want to be getting them, throwing them in the deep end right away. But yeah, that's the reason.
Okay. So that counted in, like, you guys count that one in the package of trades in this challenge, right?
100%, yeah. From the $100 Bitcoin, yeah. That's why we gave that entry. And that was a really, really good entry. How much will be up on that now? Over 30% or so?
On what?
On the Matic trade.
44 right now from entry.
40.
We were at 62, but we're down to 44.
44%. I mean,
yeah.
And again, guys, this is one of those aggressive entries that I'm talking about. I see this from a mile away. This was I didn't think Matic was a part of it. Guys, all trades are a part of it. If we give it out, there is value in it. We're not going to give out anything that's just has no value, or it's just a passing trade. We only want to give out we're only giving out things that we are ourselves as well. So yeah, do keep that in mind. But yeah, this is a really good position. Who knows? We could, if everybody's getting more comfortable with the platforms, getting more comfortable with the risk management, then yeah, we could start rolling out leverage on these kind of trades as well. But well done if you entered this as well. That's 40% on your spot entry. So yeah, great job. Any more questions? How come you wouldn't expect to retest for BTC to previous support levels? So the reason why is because the whole break retest, I believe, is very overrated, right? Because if it was that easy, then everybody would be making money. Everybody would be getting the best possible positions, right?
It's safer to use a retest, but if the market is just volatile and full of momentum, it will keep going up.
It will keep going up. And me personally, I hate chasing the market. I don't chase the market. I don't trade anything less than a 2-to-1. I just believe it's a waste of my time. But you have to start developing these criteria when placing the trades. It could get to a point where some of you guys are like 13%, yeah, I'll pass. That's the stage you want to get to. And sometimes, waiting for the retest typically is the safest, but it also has, I believe it also has a lot of risk in it, because you're taking the trade when the momentum is slowing down, if that makes sense, right? So typically the retest is good when you're adding positions, but the reason why you're in this group is because you want the home runs. You want to get the trades before everybody else. You want the entries before everybody else. You want to know whether this is a good or bad trade almost immediately, So that's the way we look at this. Not every setup is going to have a retest, just like we see Bitcoin hasn't. So sometimes waiting around for it is not the good idea. For example, let's say the people
Same as XRP.
Same as XRP. Like the first entry was the best entry because now there's no risk on the table. You're smooth sailing. There's nothing to worry about. But now, trying to get an entry now, waiting for the retest, there's more risk in it because what if price now goes all the way back to it's a false break and goes all the way back down? So that's what I'm saying. You have to. It will come over time that when you build more experience over time, or obviously more education in the space, you start to feel it out and understand what we're seeing. But don't just always assume the market is going to retest or it has to recess. The market doesn't have to do that. You know, in fact, Bitcoin can easily spike to 50K in one day, 60K in one day. It can do that. We know that based on experience. So when we're trading such a volatile market, don't always expect that. Expect good entries. Be careful not to use all your funds at once and not have funds for new trades. Perfect. That's great, Florian. That's good. Didn't enter Matic because I want to use my own leverage, not to use them for Matic and wait for a month or two. Yeah, so there you go. You know, that's a great spot. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Do you think BTC could drop to 30K again? It's possible. It won't last very long, but hopefully it does. It just means that we can get another good entry from there again. So yeah, think about it this way. It reverses. Yeah, it's a long way down, but think about it this way. It reverses, it hits our trailing stop, it goes all the way back down to 30K, wait for some kind of confirmation. We buy all the way back up to that level again. And then it's like we literally rinse and repeat. We haven't even broken the range yet. We could still be ranging. Don't be surprised if price goes back to 36K within the next few days. Do you have any more questions at all? No, I wouldn't start trailing a stop loss on XRP at this point.
It's way too soon.
Way too soon.
We just entered it.
Yeah, we just entered it. But this is why I didn't want to get into trailing without an actual coaching session, because this is what happens. Too little information is not always a good thing, right? Because what ends up happening is people start trailing too soon, and then you find that you're never making profit. So what ends up happening is you start accumulating small amounts of profit, but your losses will always be the full amount. You're never going to have a tiny bit of losses. So when your stop loss hits 7%, 8%, that's a full loss. But when you're trailing and you only capture 1%, 2%, 3%, now literally your overall ROI is going downwards. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. Whereas
it's all about risk to reward.
When you let the trade play out and you trail effectively, then you're going upwards. So you may go up, you may lose a trade, go down a tiny bit, then you go up. And then sometimes, like we've seen over the past few weeks, escalator or a lift, we go all the way up, we shoot all the way up, right? So have we started shorting yet? So we did start off with the first trade with a short position. But like I said, and that's the thing, right? The trend is your friend until it ends. You know, hedging against the trend is profitable, but it's all about the exit as well. We're still going to do them, don't worry, but it just has to be very precise.
So with that layover on a Bitcoin chart, it's obviously, it won't play out exactly the same. You know, it's just a guideline. But as you can see, you know, history repeats itself. It happened in 2017, happened in 2013. So the same type of pattern will play out this year. It's just the prices and the percentages will always be slightly different.
Do you expect the current bull market to play out like 2013? Yeah, it could. To be honest with you, I personally believe, just like I did, which is why we bought Bitcoin in the first place, I do believe this is we found the bottom. I believe this is the second leg of the bull trend. But guess what, guys? Either way, it doesn't matter anymore, because whether the market goes up, we make money. And when the market goes down, we make money. We're in a win-win position here. And when the bear market truly does kick in, we'll probably make more money than we did in the bull cycle. So yeah, this is going to be very exciting. And those of you that are part of our indice, Forex community, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about.
On a weekly time frame, Bitcoin is inside the trend.
Yeah.
That was a 2013 high, 2017 high. If it plays out as we expect it, 2021 high will be around here.
I still believe we hit 100K this year, though.
Oh, easy. We'll hit. My targets are over 200K.
Yeah.
But that's for end of the cycle. It could be December, it could be March next year. End of the cycle will be at the trend level, at the resistance line.
So a retracement at the moment for BTC, I'm looking at 35,000.
If it does.
If it does, 35,000.
But it just shoot up again from 39,300. So
yeah, I don't see it going down.
I don't see how it will retrace.
Yeah,
I don't think it will either.
I don't see how it retrace, but like I said to you guys, I never want to be married to the market. After reviewing this over the next few hours, and I start to see something that can indicate that push to 35,000, then obviously we will update on that. But we don't.
Yeah, and also yesterday, I don't know if it's an indication, but I've noticed, I don't know when it took the dump from 4,500 the first time, the big one, maybe two days ago or something. Most of the altcoins didn't move almost at all. That looked very strange. In the previous, like when it was in that consolidation range down below 35, if it would start dropping, the altcoins they will drop like blood. And now they didn't even move. So
yeah. But this indicates how much money is now coming back into the market.
Remember, Bitcoin will always move first before the altcoins.
And also, guys, start looking at the orders, start looking at the volume, obviously we know nobody's really at that stage yet, but we'll get into that. We'll start looking at market volume, order flow, etc., because these things matter. Because essentially you're looking at the real data rather than the noise. So there's so many factors that come into play. Even the fundamental data, we haven't even spoke about yet, that we still use in our trading. But this is a marathon, not a sprint. Do we have any last questions before we wrap up? Any last questions?
Yes, you can still enter Bitcoin Cash now.
Yeah, Bitcoin Cash is still a good position, as well as Polkadot. Tomorrow, again, we're going to get into the advanced stuff. I'm actually going to share with you the correlation between the stock market and the stock market and the actual crypto market, because there is a very strong correlation. And really, I'm going to reveal why that actually is and what that actually means overall for the strategy moving forward. So sometimes I'm actually looking at an indice chart as well for further confluences, right? Because there is a strong correlation now. And when you guys see that, it's going to be very, very shocking. And also, we're going to start looking at some of the technical indicators. So Fibonacci, everybody has to learn that. Honestly, that is, that's a tool that will not only make you a lot of money, but it will save you a lot of money as well. Absolutely priceless. We're also going to start looking at RSI in our trading, and obviously moving averages as well. But that correlation between the stock market and the crypto market is clearer than ever. But yeah, so we'll wrap that up there, guys. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. Of course, if you do want to join tomorrow's advanced webinar, email now. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. As always, seize the day.